Hunter's got scaled level weightlifting and RX level conditioning.
We are going to take you guys through a skill lifting session with Hunter. Doesn't really matter if you are currently following one of our skill progressions for the snatch or the clean. A lot of the same things are going to apply here. And one thing that's amazing about Olympic weightlifting is we're always chasing that, that sort of impossible perfection that's out there. So we're going to talk about what we like about what Hunter is doing, what he could fix, and we can nitpick no matter what. So we can get to that point where there's always going to be something that we can work on here. We wanted to do this day at HQ style to really lay out the whole thing so you guys could see it in action, so that it's not just boom, 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 go do that. We're really going to get in depth today and take a peek at the positions he's supposed to be in. How does he transition to them? As we move down the leg in terms of iteration, is he moving the exact same way into the other positions? So really, really valuable session right here, and we'll see how it goes.
Howdy.
Howdy. How's it feeling?
Good. Got loosened up really well, did some flossing, some empty bar stuff at all the positions, and now I'll probably get to my first kind of power position weight. It starts with a 6-minute EMOM, which is actually kind of sneaky, like a sneaky decent bit of volume, so I'll start pretty light. That'll just kind of grease the groove, and then I'm going to shoot to start. It says start at about 80% of your complex from week 1, which was a above the knee, below the knee, from the floor kind of complex. So that'll put me starting at around like 155 for the above the knee portion, and then if it looks okay, looks and feels okay, then I'll keep adding some weight. But if it's not, it's more of a skill focus, so I'm not too worried about trying to load the bar up, but we'll see how it feels. You never know.
Basically what...
Drop and reset for the other
ones. It's drop and reset. The only way that it wouldn't be is if you feel really good tension and you feel like the grip has absolutely no factor whatsoever. It's not in slow-mo. I can't tell if you're doing this first or this first, but really try to focus on legs first before torso. Yep. So what we're looking for here, and what I was talking about with Hunter, especially because he's such a good puller, and we're trying to get him to pull under the bar sooner in both the clean and the snatch, is that from this position here, we get that nice extension. That means that we're gonna rely a lot on that power position and not so much of this position.
When do you get to that 80%? After the warm-up?
After this 6-minute, yeah, so a pretty gigantic jump here, massive 10 pounds, but that's the key, is like the disparity between how much you can truly pause power position snatch and like hang snatch is probably pretty significant. So like this will be light, my jump to that 80% will be a little bit bigger.
So Hunter, like we said before, pulling under the bar sooner is what we're after. That's why I love once the weight starts to get added here in that warm-up, because he's forced to do that. That means he knows what power position feels like, and he knows what it's like to actively pull under the bar at the right time. And he has that, like, he's developed his intimacy with those things going into the next part. He's just done it. He's got that muscle memory. He knows what it feels like. Now he's going to be chasing both power position and pulling under on time for the rest of the session. Most common misconception about any of this hang work that's below power position is that you have to go to power position first and then get out over the bar. That's gonna mess with your leverage. This is backwards. Power position has not happened yet. So when you are loading, yeah, you can soften your knees a little bit so it's not uncomfortable, but you are trying to get leverage over the bar. We don't want that knee bend in those positions. We wanna regain the knee bend in power position. So I would say that's the number one thing that we see just from like more of a macro standpoint of what people are up to.
I'd say one other thing for like athletes is there's no specific, there's no pull from the floor in any of this, so you're not getting like specific snatch deadlift or snatch pulling off the floor work. So, but you have to pick the bar up for every one of your sets, so you should be focusing on getting in a good setup position. And you'll notice that I kind of do almost like a snatch grip deadlift, just for the sake of the movement. If you just bend over, stand the bar up, it's just kind of wasted. You got to pick it up anyway. You might as well get something productive out of it.
So you definitely kept your heels down better that time.
Yep.
But you do rely, especially in your first rep when you're fresh, you rely a little bit more on the catapult. So you go here and then have to come back through, and that's why you have somewhere balance a little bit off.
So just the same, more like vertical extension sort of thing.
Yep.
All my attention.
Oh yeah.
Barbo gave me a haircut on that second one. just a quarter inch off the top there. I started at 155 instead of 165, which would have been my 80.
Yep.
But I'm going up because it's feeling good, looking good. I'm not hitting, or I'm not, Drew has a correction and I can make it. That says I just needed to think about it a little bit, make the correction. If I were to repeatedly fuck that up, then I would probably be better suited staying at the same weight. So, but feels okay today, so get it while you got it.
So the reason why this is complicated and why telling him not to lean back like that is nitpicking is because your torso in Olympic lifting is supposed to fly open and then go straight up. So most people feel very natural going like this. It's just a continuation of what you're doing. We need to be able to have leverage over the bar to create that whip and that speed for the weightlessness to get under, but then to get under, we need to go straight up. So for someone who relies heavily on that pull and really understands leverage, it's going to be more challenging to do that. But the very first time that your torso flies open and then goes straight up, you're like, what the hell just happened? Why was that so easy? So it's a complicated thing to think of and to do, but the more that you focus on that iterative process going down, the more you can just add small variables at a time instead of, okay, I get this, now I'm gonna go to the floor and see if I can figure it out.
Anderson, is that you?
Those are Frazier, out of retirement.
All right, so the final variable added this week is we go below the knee, and as you probably noticed, when he went below the knee, his butt dropped. So we've been out over the bar really trying to feel what that's like, but now we just got to get a little bit more of that position that would be more like coming from the floor, and he's got some nice tension so we can feel what this is supposed to feel like, but then he has to go right back here and make it all the way back to knees out in front. So again, just little pieces, little chunks of the movement added at a time, and really try to recap and recreate the positions you've already been in. You should feel, especially Hunter being a little bit more pulling dominant, he should feel much stronger at this position because he has time to create that momentum.
So if it's feeling harder, maybe you went up too much?
For this, absolutely, yeah.
What did he say to you?
He said it looked awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
He said over pull.
I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see it in real time, but there was just this moment of him sort of floating in the middle of his snatch. What we're looking for is the second his elbows start to bend, his feet move, and he's set up to pull under and get into that position. And again, he's a great puller. He's got more leverage now. He's got more leg drive now, but we need to understand that we are moving our body around the barbell and not the barbell.
Like I said, he said it looked great. I can kind of tell too, and I know that I'm somebody who does that. I don't necessarily, I'll finish my pull with my legs and my hips, but I'd rather kind of float under the bar than be a little bit more active in that third pull, be more aggressive and like quickly get under the bar. I'd rather use that catapult effect and just let it land let it fall where it does.
Is that why you've had shoulder surgery?
I don't think so. Maybe. Cumulative lack of activity in the third pull led to a shoulder surgery.
Too damn strong, he hurt his own shoulder.
Could be too strong for my own shoulders.
Too strong for his shoulders.
It's why he has elite level conditioning and RX level weightlifting.
Ooh.
RX might be a stretch. Intermediate. Scaled.
Timing was better.
A little bit better.
Your first one, your first one that you did, you pulled under hard. Like you were active in pulling under.
Okay.
So much better timing there. Now you gotta.
Should I do one more?
Oh yeah.
Might as well. Less hip
No,
thrust?
it's not about that. You want to continue to rely on your great pull. The problem is if the pull continues to here,
Okay.
that's too late. This phenomenon is why people lift more when they're tired in CrossFit because we do so many power cleans and so many power snatches and all this stuff that when your your pull is finally fatigued to the point that you have to rip under the barbell, you do.
I could feel that a little bit more. I was thinking about jumping more vertically. I think for me, that's the cue. If I know or someone says that I'm getting that really excessive lean back, then I could try to be a little bit more vertical in my kind of extension through my legs. So pretty good session. Feel good about that. And I guess it's worth reiterating is just be in the right position. And if you don't know what that looks like, we've got a ton of videos. And then filming yourself to kind of side by side, see what those frames look like, see what these lifts look like, and kind of pay attention to what Drew says. If that looked good, then you can maybe rewind the video, pause it in my positions, and see roughly what it should look like, knowing that it'll be a little different because your body proportions are different than mine. But it's skill work. Use the first 6 minutes as to kind of grease the groove. I was sweating. And it made the rest of the session go a lot easier. But like we kind of always talk about, we're not improving your maximal strength by skill work snatching. We get stronger, and then we need to apply that to the Olympic lifts. But in order to get better at that, you have to hit the right position. So that would be my tip. Don't worry so much about the weight. The percentages are always just a guide. You know yourself best, and just hit the right positions and focus on moving well.
I think it's easy for us as coaches to give you these holy grail positions. They're supposed to look exactly like this. They're supposed to feel exactly like this. But when we're saying you need a point of reference for when you go from the floor, you need to know what they feel like for you. What is the cue? What is the feeling when you're in that perfect power position? What do you feel when you're in the low hang? If you are chasing tension and you don't have it, how did you get there? Did you shoot your butt back more? Did you feel like you were out over the bar more? Were your knees not bending as much? Whatever it is, you need to find out what these positions, once you get them right, what they feel like to you, so that when you're like, okay, I need to fix from the floor, this is the cue that I'm missing, or a coach says something, you not only can understand what it is in a picture or a video, but what it feels like on your own body. I'd say that's the most important part when it comes to all this. You really have these mental markers and these physical markers for what all of these positions are like. See you guys. Good luck. I can do a better one than that.